Can you pull up his tweets? Nate's tweets.
Yeah, right here.
Something to do with, it says here, I said, I'm training to whoop your ass next. He has a picture of him and Dustin Poirier. There's a couple other ones talking about he'd never been finished like that, He's talking a lot of trash. I don't know, man. It really just comes out, says you and who's
Dustin
you
Poirier.
and D? Yeah, Dustin Poirier, but who's you?
Connor.
Oh, you and DP just got choked on your face the other day by a guy that I ran off and didn't want none, especially with me. How you gonna fight for a title? You've been here 14 years and no one can do me like that ever. And then the reason why I know this happened, like why I know this was all going on, I got tagged about 50 billion times. People posting the picture of me knocking him out, and then I went in there and just told everyone to shh. And then, so then somebody said something, in terms to me. And so then they were like, oh yeah, it was an early stoppage and you got lucky. And I was like, early stoppage, his brother threw the towel in. So I just posted a picture of his towel being thrown in. So I left it at that. But the bottom line is look, Nate does this and Nate gets what he wants. And as much as people want to criticize him and he's way off his rocker on this situation, like he's not even in the conversation. I don't even know is he still in the rankings?
No,
he's not even in the rankings.
Not at 155.
Yeah, and so what's the point of having this conversation, really? Now Dana did come out and say that Nate's going to be back at 155, and he's got someone for him to fight, and that it will basically be a great fight for him. And I think it's going to be Tony Ferguson.
I do too. I really do. I think that's the fight that they're looking at. When I talk to people and I hear some things, I would say that getting Nate back, that's someone that Tony could get excited about.
Yeah.
Because if you recall, several years ago, Dana had that thing of, Nate Diaz doesn't move the dial.
Yeah.
He doesn't move the needle. And it was, some people, yeah, he does. Yes, he does. And, no, he doesn't. And then he had the one fight where they put on at the Staples, and yes, he moves the needle. And he definitely moves the needle now. Based upon his two fights with Connor and everything, you go and you look at the one thing that people know: when Nate Diaz steps in the cage, there's going to be a fight. Now, he may not win the fight. Masvidal was absolutely beating him in the BMF fight, but he was the creation of that. If you go back to that, Josh, it wasn't the UFC. The UFC took what he created in his mind and then made something of it, and that was smart on their part, but it was Nate Diaz that basically said, hey, that guy's a bad motherfucker. And we need to have a fight between two bad motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Perfect. He moves the needle. People know that they believe when Nate Diaz steps in the cage, they're going to get a fight. They're going to get a guy that goes out there and walks forward and tries to put it on his opponent. That's what they're going to get from him. And I think, people can sit there and complain about what he's saying with Dustin. His job is to create interest. His job is to get the best fight that he can get that's going to pay him the most money. And that's what he's doing.
Well, here's the thing. Not only when he does this, right? Because he's pretty silent on social media until something like this happens.
Till there's a fight.
And then something blows up. When he says something, everybody wants that fight with him. Justin Gaethje's come out and said some shit from a dude that only talks about it, doesn't do anything basically, and then you've got who else was in the conversation there?
Gaethje and then Tony.
And then Tony said something like, Tony came out and said, all these guys do is have bad grammar. Fucking Nate, get off your ass and compete already. To me, I think the perfect fight is the Tony Ferguson fight. I think it's a phenomenal fight. Nate coming off a loss, Tony coming off of 2 losses. Is Nate coming off 2 losses? I think he's coming off the Connor loss, and then he's coming off the...
No. He had the
Pettis.
The Pettis fight in
between.
That, and then he had the BMF fight against Masvidal.
Yeah. He's got the win. He's got the win over. He lost to Connor, beat Pettis, and then he came back and lost to Masvidal. Yeah, overall, look, I love what he does. I'm a big fan, and I've told people this. I just wish I could get the guy to talk to me, man. I'd love to have him on the show. Him and Nick, both. I'm being honest, man. Here, people think that because I won that I want to have him on. No. I just did for Yves Edwards. His very first podcast show was on Monday, and I did it on him. And what we did was we went through our first fight our fight together, and we broke it all down. And our emotions. I don't give two shits. I like Yves Edwards. He's like one of my long-term friends. We were friends before we fought. We're long friends after.
One of the nicest guys ever.
If Nate would have beat me, he'd probably be my friend, but he didn't beat me. And so the bottom line is like, I've tried to get him on the show. I'd love to have him and his brother both on. You know, they're phenomenal fighters. I'm a big fan of both of those guys. When it comes down to when they do this, I just sit back and go, this is awesome. I appreciate what they're doing because, like you said, it was Nate that made that fight happen with Masvidal.
Yes, he did.
You know, and it was kind of Nate that made that fight happen with Conor as well. I'm the big money fight. You know what a fucking money fight is. Like that's really. You're taking
you both are doing, playing touch butt in the park.
Yeah, right. Like
that's the best fight ever, man.
You're fucking taking everything that I worked for, like that type of stuff. Those comments is what gets him fights.
Yeah,
nobody can be mad at that, and I respect that a lot. And I love both those guys. I will always buy their pay-per-views and watch them fight. And everyone knows I don't like to buy pay-per-views. Okay, so I do it when there's people out there that I really want to see.
I do the same thing because I respect that fighter, and it's like he deserves my money.
Yeah, he does.
That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely, I do. I love it.
100% agree.